Hey guys, it's Abbie Lee. I am back again and I'm going to teach you the most amazing tutorial ever today. My assistant, as always, Allie, is going to be here joining me to answer any comments or questions you guys might have. So make sure that you comment below while I'm doing the tutorial. But let's get into what we're going to go into today, or what I'm going to be teaching you today. So we all know that Mother's Day is on Sunday. It's right around the corner. And if you have any siblings, you kind of want to be the coolest sibling on the planet, right? So I'm going to teach you probably the coolest gift you could possibly give your mom, which, what do moms love most? Their kids, and they love how adorable their kids are. So I'm going to take my face and make it a wallpaper. And basically every single type of facial expression I would ever give my mom, I'm going to put on this wallpaper. And then I'm going to send it to my mother and be like, here's my most adorable face. And you guys should do the same thing. I bet you $1 million you're gonna skyrocket to the top of her list. So let's go ahead and get started. And as I set up here, I'm gonna go ahead and remind you guys to please comment away while I'm doing this tutorial. I want to answer all of your questions. So the way I'm gonna get started is I'm just gonna hit the plus sign here at the bottom, and I'm going to go into draw. I'm going to say create new, and for this one I'm going to use the screen. You can use literally any, there's so many pre-made canvases, but for this particular edit I'm going to use screen. And we're going to have it vertical, not horizontal. You can change it if you want, just like that. And basically, I am going to just hit the arrow up in the top here, and it's going to go into draw mode. I don't want to use draw mode for this one, so I'm going to hit the arrow again up in the right-hand corner, and I'm going to say edit image, and it's going to bring me into the ability to, let's get rid of this ad here really quick. X. Okay, so it's going to bring me into this canvas here. So let me see, I'm going to try to brighten my screen up a little bit. It's a little bit dark here before we get started. All right, there we go. So basically, it's super easy. What I did is I pre-made a bunch of stickers of myself, but I'm going to show you how to do it first before I go into jumping into making stickers. So pretty sure we all know how to make stickers, but just in case, I'm going to remind you, I'm going to add a photo. And so basically, there's my face from earlier. Pretty horrible photo, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to cut it out. So like that, and then it's going to outline there, and you're going to just make sure that you get everything you want. I'm not going to use this, but I'm just showing you how to make a sticker. So, and then I do that so I can see if it actually had anything. Or, you know, all this stuff, you don't want that stuff, obviously. You want to erase that area. And what I'm doing right here is I'm just using the paintbrush and the erase tool to get rid of areas that I don't want. And then I'm going to fill it back in here. So we all kind of know how to make stickers, but obviously I want to remind you just in case there's anyone new here. So it's basically just taking areas that the tool didn't actually catch right away. So basically it's going to look something like that. You know, I'm going to actually erase that a little bit. And then you're going to say save. That's just a quick edit, and then it's going to become a sticker. I don't want to use this one because that was just a test shot that I took earlier, but that was just me showing you how to create a sticker. I already did all that work beforehand, and like I said, you can actually use just one single sticker over and over and over again, but I wanted to create one where I had a ton of different facial expressions. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my stickers here, and voila, that's all these faces I already made and cut out. Like I said, you guys can take the time to do that. I didn't want to make you guys suffer through me cutting out all these ridiculous faces of myself, but I just wanted to show you kind of what I did. And so you can do it with one face, you can do it with two, maybe three facial expressions. Totally doesn't need to be this many, but I wanted to get really creative. So I'm just going to go ahead and start placing these stickers. And the way I'm going to do it is it's going to pop up one. Boom, right there. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I kind of, since there's so many faces that I've made, I'm going to lose track of all the ones that I've made. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start loading them up on the side here so that I have all of my faces 100% all around the canvas, so I can kind of pick and choose on what I want to use and where I want to use it. So with that being said, we're just going to wait for it to download here. It's going a little bit slow. I think that's my service here. So I'm going to go ahead and start placing all of these around the corner. And you guys can do it one by one individually. You don't have to necessarily do it this way. I'm just making sure that I'm not doing a ton of repeats on these faces that I have, just so that this one's hilarious. So, I mean, think of all the faces that you make to your mom. Like, obviously, a lot of it is happy faces, but moms also kind of get on our nerves sometimes. So I also have a little bit of annoyed faces. My mom is like my best friend, so I 100% have a lot of, annoyed faces because we all get really annoyed at our best friends at some time in our life. But I also love her to death, so I have a lot of, happy faces too. So the way I'm going to do this is the easiest way to go about this, guys, is to overlap. And you want to be a little bit careful because when you start placing them, like you can see how it just, whichever one you touch is going to overlap over the other one. So I use kind of bigger ones first, and then I'll go in and put in smaller ones after I've placed everything. And it'll make more sense the further we go. So if you can't tell what I'm doing, I'm just kind of placing them over and over and over again on where I want them to go. And like you can see here, I have to bring them, there's layers, so I have to bring them up to the very front in order to have the layer that I want. And just like anything, you can also zoom in. If you're having a hard time grabbing one over the other, you can zoom in or you can zoom out. Basically, it's literally gonna look like this. I actually had so much fun making this. So if you do end up doing this, you totally have an excuse to be vain. Because I was having the best time taking all these photos of myself. That sounds horrible, but it was actually a lot of fun. So make sure that while you're doing this and while it's loading, you can go ahead and start cutting out. You can take a lot of photos if you want to kind of mess around with different hairdos or different makeup, just be a little bit creative. I certainly got super creative, if you can't tell. I put different makeup on, I had glasses, I don't even wear glasses, but it was fun. You can also kind of like twist them around too, so it doesn't have to be straight on either. So, how are we doing on questions, Allie? We're doing great. Woohoo! And typically, while these are downloading, I just kind of go into the next one that I'm going to want to use too. And like I said, like for me, there's so many facial expressions that I want to start placing them over on the side again. And also be careful zooming out because you can easily kind of drag it a little bit weird and the ratio size will get a little bit skewed. So if that happens, just put it back. You can easily adjust. So if you want to make it like super stretched or, long ways, you can do that too. It's kind of weird, but I kind of stay away from that. But it's honestly whatever you want to be creative with. This is probably my favorite face on the planet. That one, I'm pretty sure my neighbors thought I was nuts when I was taking these ones. Yeah. If you've never stood in front of a mirror and done facial expressions before, I've done it for theater. I highly recommend it. It's a whole lot of fun. You get to feel absolutely ridiculous, and I pretty much do that on a daily basis. So you can also work with hands too. It's a little bit, keep in mind like the background if you're going to start cutting yourself out. Yay! We got a little bit more light here. If you're going to start cutting yourself out, make sure that your background is clean. That's the one advice I do have for you because it's easier to, and when I say clean, it's just kind of like a blank background. So what I did was I took photos against just a blank wall in my house because it's easier to cut yourself out because there's less in the background conflicting. what you're cutting out. So while I'm having this load, we're going to, does anyone have any questions? We're good? Yay! So guys, just have fun with this, play around. I mean, I had a great time taking all these photos. Definitely, if you have a ton of, well, if you have any time at all, just like play around. I had probably the best time ever doing this project. If you can't tell, because there's 9 million photos in here. And I'm not ashamed, not at all, and you shouldn't be either. So I'm gonna start. So if you haven't noticed, I just kind of placed some photos here, and I'm playing around with sizes. I'm going big, I'm going a little bit smaller, and then after I place, this photo cracks me up. And also, in order to get this bar down at the very bottom, you can just click it so that it's not in the way. I'm going to place this down at the bottom. It's probably my favorite facial expression ever, so I'm going to make it kind of big. Obviously, guys, I have no shame. So I am probably the master of making ridiculous faces. So this one I kind of want to turn a little bit sideways. And these gaps, I'm going to show you how we're going to get around that here in a little bit. And I will kind of guide you in that area as soon as I place the rest of my photos. So, and as I get into this a little bit more, I'm going to place this. And then I'm going to probably bring, I think I used this one already, did I? No, I didn't. I love that photo. And then also the cool perk about this too is you totally have all these photos to use of yourself. That sounds very vain, but I'm okay with that. If you guys have any questions, make sure that you comment. For sure, make sure that you comment, and I will try to respond accordingly. And then also, if you guys want to see a particular tutorial, if you've ever seen, you know, something that I've done or something that somebody at PicsArt has done, please comment, because I want to hear from you. Talk to me. I would love to answer any questions that you might have. I'm running out of stickers, so I'm going to start placing more. Oh, believe me, I have way more that I can use. Like, I'm kind of ashamed, but not really. And like I said, remember with this, you have to zoom in and bring the layers forward. Otherwise, you're going to be, you know, conflicting. You're going to overlap them. So just watch the ones that you want to have on top. So really, it's just kind of think of it as layers. You're constantly bringing the layer that you want to the very front. And then also, if you feel like, just like that, I mean, that's super simple. For this one, I want to touch my face there. And then I want to go back in and touch this face. Woohoo! Layers, it's the best. Let's see, I don't think I have any red lips yet. I'm sorry, guys. These photos really crack me up. I was having so much fun. Make sure, the other thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is when I took these photos, I was actually facing a window, a really well-lit window. Like the light was streaming in. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. But it really helps with lighting, and it helps make your photos look a lot better. Better exposed, better lighting. It makes you look fantastic. It makes everybody look fabulous. So, I mean, I wouldn't suggest being in a dark room and taking these photos because the quality isn't going to be as nice. So I highly recommend you to find a nice window, and that's something I recommend taking photos anyway to kind of look more of a pro, even if you aren't a pro. Lighting is everything, guys. Like, make sure that you have awesome lighting and everything in all the photos that you're taking, and you can make yourself look pretty amazing. So this one, because it's so overly layered, I'm going to go ahead and erase it because I don't have, I'm going to start grabbing things I don't want. So for this, I'm going to bring the hardness all the way up because I want it to be apparent that I am cutting it out. So I don't want it to have a soft look at all. I also just want to get rid of that completely on my other hand. And then you can zoom in and out. Like, I obviously don't want it on my face at all. Okay, so you can see right there the areas I want to fill in. So I'm going to go ahead and paint that in. And it doesn't have to be astronomically perfect because it's a collage. So you don't have to, I'm just making sure it's not over my face at all. So, and also it doesn't like make my other image look like I have a weird head or something. So that's pretty much the only thing you want to watch here. I also don't want white spots though, so I'm going to go in and do that. Woohoo! Looking pretty fancy. Okay, cool. Let me clean that up. And then I'm going to check here, but I also am hiding my face. There we go. And boom, that's what I want. So it's getting to the point where I'm going to want to place everything because I don't want anything else to move at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit apply so that's safe. Like those are permanent on there now. And that's where we want to keep it. But I want to still add stickers, so I'm going to go down into the stickers point here. And I'm going to start adding more. I mean, we've all been mad at our mom at one point, and I definitely have plenty of those faces that I haven't used yet. And for this one, so I want to use this one right here, but I also don't want my shoulders there overlapping. So I'm going to erase them. You can also start out by doing this by bringing the opacity down to see exactly what you're dealing with. But I kind of know where I want this to go, and it's not like this incredibly perfect edit. So I don't need to do that on every single sticker. That being said, if you want to be like a complete perfectionist, totally fine. I'm a huge perfectionist, but I kind of know what I want to work with here, so I don't feel like it's necessary. Definitely not discouraging you from doing that though. So that's kind of amazing. I'm going to go ahead and place that there. Awesome. And then I'm going to just keep going in and getting more photos. That's like my childish face, like, you know, from when I was small and I was like, Mom, I love you. You know, that type of thing. Just get a nice, diverse array of facial expressions. And we're pretty much almost done here, guys. I want to move this one a little bit and make it a little bit bigger. And I want to erase this little area. And like I said, you can also do this with, you can totally do this with just one sticker too. Same type of thing is going to apply with layering though, is you're just going to want to keep kind of bringing in the layers. You're going to keep wanting to, obviously, we have moments where our moms kind of aggravate us. So this is the one where she probably told me to clean my room and I didn't want to clean my room. Use your imagination. So basically, this is all you're doing. But, you know, even if you're using just one sticker, I highly recommend you to kind of follow this routine too, just so it looks a little bit more real. It can look pretty choppy, so I mean you can do it super fast too. It's really just how you want it to, not real, but it's just how you want it to look. And this to me, this is awesome. I'm having way too much fun with this. And also I'm gonna go ahead and hit apply because I don't want to keep, when you hit apply, it sets everything as permanent and you can't move anything. So it basically just assures that everything will stay in place. Which I want at this point, because I don't want anything to move around. I'm too developed, or I'm too far into this tutorial for me to want to start over again. Just because this is a lot of faces. You probably don't want to stare at my face any longer. So, okay, this is all I'm doing here. I'm just gonna fill in the gaps. Like I said, you kind of want to bring this in. Anybody have any questions? I want to answer them. Huh?
Everybody's loving it.
Yay, good. You guys should totally do this. I'm so excited. Like, seriously, this is so much fun. And we basically just have like a few more to go. What faces haven't I used yet? Gosh, I have so many of them. And you can totally do repeats too. I just got really incredibly fun. Oh, also, you can totally bring yourself upside down. That was one of my favorite things I was doing yesterday. And kind of fill in more gaps. I feel like that's a little bit big. So I'm going to go in there. Cool. And I don't want my shoulder there, so Again, I always bring the hardness up for this because we want it to be an obvious difference in the photo. I want to fill that gap in a little bit. There we go. I'm going to place that, apply, and then I'm going to just go and grab a few more stickers and we'll be done, guys. I literally was imagining what facial expressions that I give my mom, and you know, every time I broke a dish or I did something that I was in trouble with, like that's where my facial expressions came from. All these photos, I was like, what grief have I ever given my mother? Which was a lot, so I was a rambunctious kid. Okay, so basically all the gaps are pretty much filled. I'm gonna fill in these couple ones with tiny versions of me, and then we're done. So let me place 2 more stickers. I'll probably use this one, but it's totally okay if you have a repeat, as long as it's like not right next to each other. I'm gonna bring this one sideways a little bit to bring in that gap. Going to bring the hardness up and erase that from my forehead. There we go, like that. And then I'm going to bring in one more, and we should probably be good. Let's see, let's do a nice face. It's a nice face. Okay. So, where do I want to place this? I'm going to make it super small. Really, really small, and I'm going to bring it into this corner here. Oop, I stretched it a little bit too much. You don't want the ratios to be weird, otherwise it looks kind of off. And I don't really feel like it, I'll erase this one a little bit. All right, and yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. And I'm gonna hit apply. And yeah, I'm super happy with that. That looks kind of crazy. I actually love it. That's amazing. I could literally do this all day long. So this is it, guys. This is the final version. Like always, I love effects. I'm a total sucker for them. I'm a huge sucker for the Dodger effects, but go ahead and play around. Like, I mean, if you guys want to do anything, like there's so many. We have so, I mean, look at these. There's so many. I'm going to use Dodger because I love it. I'm going to bring the fade up just a little bit. I'm going to hit apply, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit the arrow up in the right hand corner right here. Boom. And what we're going to do, we're going to hashtag with PicsArt, hashtag PicsArt, and then do we have a particular hashtag for this one? This is going to be just something that you're going to give to your mother. So it's super adorable. Anyway, that's how you save, and then you post, you share, 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 obviously to your mother. And I'm going to bring this back up to me. Hello, hello again. Thank you for bearing with me. And I know you've already seen a ton of my face because that was a ridiculous amount of stickers of my face. But now you guys already all know like every facial expression that I possibly could ever make. So yeah, probably more than even my own mother knows. Anyway, so what I did want to talk to you guys about was, remember, if you can't wait at all, or if you want to, like if you can't wait for another live how-to on Wednesdays, then make sure that you check our blog and our Instagram. As always, please comment down below if you have any tutorial that you want to see. I want to hear from you, please, please, please. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you'll see me again next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.